So number one, so this is an area, every franchise has, maybe a different opinion, how they want their business, who their avatar is. And, is it a full-time individual? Can they run it part-time? What are their financials to allow them, to be qualified to purchase the franchise? And that list goes on. What's their skill set? But one thing we heard over and over with companies is riches are in the niches, or, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And that was something that, came up over and over again. And this is not the case for every franchise, but a lot of franchise companies, they kind of came back and said, you know what? We have the ability to offer dozens and dozens of services, but we are choosing to really keep it simple, not overcomplicate it, because the more services you add, yes, is that a bonus and creating more revenue, but it can also kind of take away from the underlying business. So, an example without giving brands could be something, it could be power washing, it could be, we'll just use that as an example, just offering power washing services, not gutter cleaning, not window cleaning, not carpentry or painting, since we're already at the home. And why is that? Because they are able to really focus and niche, what that service is for the homeowner. If that homeowner needs additional service, they can refer that to another franchisee or another business and really, work with fellow business owners in the area, referring each other business, but really keeping it simple, because it's not just the training, who that ideal person is. And, can a person handle 20 different services, or do you need 10 or 15 or 20 different crews to come out? But ultimately, keeping the profit margins as high as possible, but really owning that space and saying, we are the largest painting company, power washing company, whatever it is. And it just helps with marketing as well, where you can niche down and focus on, two, three, four keywords and really drill down and just say, we're going to own these words, as opposed to offering 20 services, which maybe equates to hundreds of different keywords. You really own that space. So the niching down of the business, we do one thing, we do that thing really well, and we're able to offer that to this broader audience. And down the road, if that franchisor decides to pivot and add additional services, great. You may not need to, but at some point, if you're looking to expand the business, as I mentioned, you can look to expand by adding more territory with that specific brand, or adding complementary brands to that specific business. So if you're touching the homeowner once or twice a year via power washing, via window washing, whatever the key service is, you can add on additional services. Maybe it's a separate business, separate entity altogether, coming back and upselling that specific customer. And what happens there is there's going to be, adding a service, there's going to be more of a learning curve. There's going to be, obviously the investment involved, but on the sales side, you're able to upsell your customers and say, hey, you loved us for the power washing, why not use us for the painting, or vice versa. So, keeping it simple, niching down to the specific service, and not doing it good, doing it really well, over training, and those are things that we talked about, over supporting the franchisee in that one niche. Because once you start adding added layers, it does complicate the process. So just additional training, could be additional licensing, insurance requirements, and things like that. So that was one area that we heard over and over again. And that's something, as far as the takeaway goes, is that in your business, sometimes, we do offer a certain business model where it's business coaching, but then we start adding, all these other, well, I can make money doing this, or make money doing that. And sometimes that really takes you away from your key business, your bread and butter. So keeping it simple, streamlining things, not overcomplicating it, because at the end of the day, we want something that's sustainable, whether it's your individual non-franchise or franchise business. You want to keep it efficient. You want to keep it simple. And you want it sustainable. You want to enjoy it and be profitable at the end of the day, because we had talked about in a previous episode, just because revenues are going up doesn't mean that you're profiting from that.